So you are behind a hashtag 66 days of data, which is perhaps the most ubiquitous hashtag used on social media associated with data science today. I see it everywhere. This is a hashtag that you created to support people in learning data science techniques. What is it? Tell us more about it. Where did it come from? And why is it so effective?
Yeah, so I think we alluded to it before, but learning for me is a lifelong journey. And I think learning has to be a career long journey in data science as well. It's not like you just learn all these techniques and then you're ready to go and it stops. It's a continuing process. And it can be really overwhelming to learn a lot of data science concepts over any period of time. So, in my mind, the best way to approach that is to habitualize learning rather than thinking of it as, like checking boxes. I have to learn this concept and this concept and this concept. If we create this daily learning process or practice, we can effectively have a really long and prosperous career because we're not intimidated by how much there is to consume. And so 66 days of data is truly about creating great learning habits. And 66 days comes from the book by James Clear, Atomic Habits. So in it, he talks about how 66 days is the average amount of time that it takes to ingrain a habit. As a data scientist, yes, I realize there are problems with averages, especially related to this. It might take some people 30 days, it might take some people 90 days, whatever it might be.
And he acknowledges that in the book.
Exactly.
He doesn't try to dumb it down to there's this magic number. It's like obviously some things are harder to learn than others.
Exactly. But, I thought 66 was nice and it gets people asking about the number. So there's some like marketing, hopefully, juice in there as well. But the idea behind the challenge is first, you create this habit. You learn data science for at least 5 minutes each day for 66 days, right? The next thing that you do is you share what you learned on your favorite social platform. So this has a twofold benefit. So the first is you're part of this community. Everyone's helping to keep you accountable, right? If someone sees that you didn't post or something like that, like you feel it. You feel like you're letting other people down because you're part of this thing that everyone is doing. And the other part of that is you're creating this awesome track record, right? So something that I think a lot of people struggle with is putting themselves out there. And I know, and I think you know this, in 2021, 2022, or going forward, wherever it is, creating a brand for yourself, creating content, creating a portfolio, whatever it is, that's how it gives you a huge leg up in landing a job. It gives you a huge leg up in creating opportunities for yourself. So by posting every day and having something really clear to post, it breaks through that fear of this process, and it lets you see this track record. It lets you create this track record, and then afterwards, 66 days later, you can go back and look at how far you've come. I think that that's the other really motivating thing is that a lot of people over a week, over a couple days, they don't feel like they're moving anywhere, right? Like compared to yesterday, I'm like, what the heck did I do? Okay, I did a podcast, did whatever, but that's not like, oh, I made this monumental leap in my learning or my career. If you're looking over the course of effectively 2 months, that's a different story. You say, oh my goodness, I learned all these topics. I have it really well documented what I did. That's going to make me want to continue this or to learn more or really dive in. Or you'll learn that, hey, data science isn't for me, man. I didn't like this experience. I'm not going to do this anymore, which is also okay, right?
Yeah, I think that's an important part of the process is to commit to something for a period of time. So, you don't need to commit to anything forever, but 66 days, just a couple months of your life. And that's a good amount of time to get experience with something new, see what it's really like. And so I have spoken about data science in the context of Atomic Habits. So I did a 5 Minute Friday, episode number 442 on that. And one of the things that I love that you're doing with 66 Days of Data Science that I talked about in that episode as well is this idea of not breaking the chain of learning. And so if you want to be good at anything, well, obviously just continuing at it is the key. It's like it's so obvious that it's amazing how people fall down on that all the time. So I think an example, it might be in James's book. If not, it was in his newsletter years ago before he started writing the book. Was if this technique came from Jerry Seinfeld. So if you want to be a great comedian, then obviously the key is to write jokes. You need to spend a lot of time writing jokes. So Jerry Seinfeld got into this habit of marking an X on a calendar every day that he did a joke, that he made at least an effort, kind of like you're saying with 66 days of data. Maybe it'd be something like 5 minutes of effort writing a joke or actually completing a joke or just doing something. And having that visual of being able to look on a calendar without breaking a chain is kind of helpful. And you're bringing that idea into the digital world. So with this 66 days of data hashtag, you have this continuity across whatever platform you're using, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. You can look through based on that hashtag, go back through days and see that there's this continuous trend without breaking for 66 days. And any of your followers can see that too. So I think it was a brilliant idea to create this. And I love how much it's taken off. I have no doubt that it's made an enormous impact, probably difficult to quantify. But alongside your YouTube channel, this 66 days of data initiative has no doubt made a huge impact on the data science community and the broader world. And I have no doubt that that will only amplify in the years to come.
Thank you. Well, I think one of the most important things, especially for me, is that I actually participate in it too, right? It's great if I were to start the challenge and tell other people to do it, but I didn't kind of do as I said. Mm-hmm. I think that the fact that I'm engaging, the fact that it's also real. Like sometimes it's hard for me to get 5 minutes in. I have a bunch of meetings, I'm doing X, Y, Z, and it's like, oh shoot, like I have to do this, but I'm still going to do it. And I let people know when it's like, oh, this was a slippery slope day for me. It is what it is. And I also have to thank the community. For example, you had Josh Starmer on in the previous podcast, and he did the 66 days of data challenge with me before. Mm-hmm. My friend, the data professor, has also done it. There've been a lot of people who have engaged and bought in, and I mean, I am so grateful and like completely surprised by the community growth. We have this Discord server where a lot of people, they can ask questions, they can form groups, they can collaborate with each other. And that's an externality of this that I didn't even see as possible. I didn't even see that we could be bringing to, community building in this aspect. I thought of this more as an individual challenge. But oh my goodness, that's like the best part of it now, right? Is you get to be in this learning community where everyone else is like a lot of new beginners, a lot of people are learning this together. Tell me if that isn't rewarding or doesn't feel like you're part of something. I mean, the scariest thing is like everyone's ahead of me. I don't know what I'm doing. I could never break in because XYZ has already done this. Look how smart they are. Look at their project. No, everyone, you're seeing like, oh, I learned this really basic concept today. Even me, I went through the basics in the first session. I don't know. I just think that that's so powerful. And again, I'm really grateful to the admin, all the staff, everyone that's made it possible, because truly one of the coolest things that's happened around my content in the last year or two.